Okay. So let me tell you about my experience with the shadow. People, figures, creatures, whatever you want to call it. Now this is 100% real. It's not a lie, not made up, not fabricated. This is totally true. Now, it is 2017. I say it happened in about 2015. Went upstairs. I laid down in bed, went to sleep. Now, I woke up and I was on my back. I couldn't move. The only thing that I could move were my eyes. Now, at first I thought I was just dreaming, honestly. I'm like, man, this is a dream. This has got to be a dream. This is not real. Well, I looked towards the foot of my bed, and no joke, there was a guy standing there, pure shadow. He had on like a hat like Freddy Krueger, like a Freddy hat. And there were two other people on his sides. And I'm just looking like, I thought I was dreaming. And then, I couldn't breathe. So I'm sitting there, paralyzed. I'm like, what is going on? So I'm just sitting there laying on my back. And, it's almost like I lifted out of my body. It was like something spiritual maybe. I don't know. It was like a astral projected out of my body. I don't know what it was, but there were two figures sitting there. And, they just kept coming closer and closer to me. Then we started wrestling. The one in the middle, the guy with the hat, there was, the other two, like they surrounded me. But I was on my back, but I could see myself standing up. And, it was weird. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was insane. So I'm sitting there, the one in the middle grabs me. I grab him, we lock up. His hands on my shoulders, my hands on his shoulders. And, the other two grab me. And, I'm fighting for my life at this point. And, the only thing that I could do that saved me basically was calling out the name Jesus Christ. I'm sitting there begging God, please help me. Please help me. I don't know what's going on. Please help me. Now, this level of fear was terrifying. It's on a whole nother level that you can even imagine or describe. I've been, almost getting jumped by people or, chased by a dog or, seeing just different random things that, where a normal person would get fear. Now, this fear, it was paralyzing to where I've never felt anything as fearful. I never felt as much fear and terror ever. Now, I don't know what they were, if they were ghosts or, whatever it was, but I'm wrestling with these things and I could feel myself laying on my back. Only thing that could move were my eyes. My arms were down to my side and my legs. And, I'm sitting there screaming, trying to call for my girlfriend to come wake me up or come help me. I could hear them in the background playing, kids running around, but I could not move. Now, it was terrifying. So, I'm wrestling, like I said, wrestling with these things. And then the only thing that helped me is, praying. I'm like, God, please, Jesus, please give me the strength to defeat whatever this is. And I just felt this surge of power. And I just, I overwhelmed them to where, we wrestled around and I became way stronger than they were. Then eventually I pushed them away and then I jumped up. I was, like I said, I was on my back. I jumped up. I leaned up and I couldn't breathe. At this point I'd woke up, the paralysis, whatever you want to call it, was over with. But I woke up, I couldn't breathe. I'm like gasping for air. It felt like, I was swimming in a pool and holding my breath for a long period of time. And, get to the surface and you're trying to catch a breath. Now, I didn't know anything about sleep paralysis. I didn't know anything about none of this. I thought it was just a terrifying nightmare. And, I'm on Netflix one day You know, shout out to Netflix, great company, I love them. On Netflix, there's something about sleep paralysis, documentary. And I look, it was the exact same thing that I seen. There was a guy with like a hat on. He was completely dark, no eyes. I didn't see anything. It was just a complete shadow. And to the side of him, there were two, guys. They reminded you. Remember that old Power Rangers with the putties? Those guys like they were like that, but they were just totally black. Like, shadow. It was like a weird shadow. I watched that movie. I mean, it was terrifying because it was the same thing that I seen. I thought it was just a nightmare that I had. I didn't know other people seen that same thing. But that was completely, I mean, it was scary to the point where I didn't know what, I told my mom about it, told other people. And, I started looking up online, like, what is sleep? I'm like, man, I woke up and, there was these like shadowy looking people that I was fighting with. And, I'm trying to tell my mom, she's like, whatever, you're completely insane. But, I'm telling her, hey, there was these shadowy figures that I was fighting with. They were wrestling with me. And the only thing that saved me was using the name Jesus Christ and God, please help me. I mean, I was literally begging for God to help me. Like, God, please save me, save me. I mean, it was terrifying. I don't know, other people experience the same thing. I started looking it up. And, I don't know what they are, where they come from, if they're just, part of imagination or what. But, I mean, this was so real. I mean, it was insanely real. It was just as real as I'm talking on this video. And, just picture laying in your bed and waking up, and it felt like I was encased in cement. Felt like someone poured cement over my whole body except for my eyes, my eyeballs. And that was the only thing that could move. I'm like barely moving them, and then I couldn't breathe. It's like my body forgot how to breathe. And I'm sitting there just gasping and gasping for air. And I mean, it was insane. It was terrifying. I know other people went through that same thing, but the way I went through it was totally different. I mean, it wasn't like they just sat there and, it was a joke and funny. No, this stuff was completely terrifying. I've never been that scared in my life. And, there was just a feeling that came over me just of pure terror. I don't even know how to describe it, but anything besides pure terror. I mean, it was horrible. And, like some people say, oh, we're aliens or, this or that or whatever. No, these were demons. And that's what I told my girlfriend. I told my mom, like, look, I got attacked by demons in my sleep. I woke up and I couldn't move. And, and they were just like, oh, whatever. You just had a nightmare. This and I'm like, no, this was real. Because I was conscious. I could hear what was going on in the other room. And, I could hear my son playing. I could hear my girlfriend talking. But I couldn't move my body, and I was just like stuck. I've never felt that type of feeling. It was, it was something totally different. But, that was my experience dealing with, shadow beings, shadow people, whatever. I'm calling them demons. I don't know. People can call them whatever they want, but the feeling that I got was nothing positive. It was total terror and fright. It was almost like waking up in a Friday the 13th movie and you're getting chased by, a killer, Michael Myers, that has you in a corner and he's just walking closer towards you. And, it's just a paralyzing fear. So that's what I felt. That's how it was. It was insane. I don't know if anyone else went through that same thing, but I mean, I'm telling you, it was a shadow with a hat. But, you couldn't see no face. You couldn't see nothing. It was just a straight shadow. No eyes, nothing. And it attacked me. It was like wrestling with me. I thought it was trying to kill me. But, I knew that I was laying down because I could see almost like, it was like an out-of-body experience. I could see myself laying down almost because I was standing up wrestling with them. I weren't wrestling with them. They weren't on top of me while I was on my back. I was standing straight up wrestling with them. I don't know if it was something in my mind, like my consciousness was battling them, but it was insane. And, you know, let me hear some comments. What do you guys think about it? If the same thing happened to you, whatever. Let me know.